Hello, ag teachers. As we get to the end of the school year, it's that annual time of the year when your annual reports are due. This year, those reports will be due on May 31st. And I'm going to briefly show you how to access those reports and complete them if this is your first time doing it or if you need a refresher. So to access the annual FFA report, you're going to go to the National FFA website. This report is not found on our state website. You have to go directly to the National FFA site. So you're going to go to ffa.org and you're going to go to your dashboard. So you will log in as a teacher advisor. Once your dashboard comes up, you're going to go down and you're going to click on Manage Your Chapter Profile. If you're not logged in, it will prompt you to do that. So you'll click on Log In or Sign Up. You're already in the system, so you're going to put in your username and your password, and you're going to log in. This will take you to a familiar site. All of you should have seen this at this point, your chapter profile. On the side here, you're going to scroll down and click on Annual Report Data. This is where you're going to complete your report. So when we open up this page, none of this has changed. If you've done this before, it's the same process that we've used for the past several years. You're going to complete information on each of these tabs. So the first tab is the AF&R pathways. This is the total number of students, this can be duplicated, that are enrolled in each of these courses that you teach. So for example, most of you are probably going to have an AgriScience 1 course. So you find AgriScience 1, you're going to enter the total number of students that are enrolled in an AgriScience 1 course. Now you may have a student who's enrolled in Ag 1 and maybe they're enrolled in an NCCR course. They're duplicated. You're going to include them here. So this can be a duplicated count. So you include all of your Ag 1 students, Ag 2, Ag 3, whatever courses you teach. We have every possible Ag course that you might be teaching in the AF&R pathway is listed on this AF&R tab. So you're going to go to each one and put in the number of students you have. You don't have to put 0. So let's say you don't have anybody in this environmental studies course. You don't have to add a 0. You're just putting the numbers of students that you teach in each course that you do teach. So you're going to populate these in. You're going to come down to the bottom. This number will start to populate as you put students in. Anything in gray you can't type in, but as you plug in students into the white boxes, it'll populate. Here you're going to put the number of students who have SAEs. It should be all of your students. So hopefully this number matches the number of students that you teach. And then you're going to type in the number of teachers in your program. Remember, if you've done this before, very critical that every time you complete a tab, you click Save. Don't move off of a tab until you click Save. If you do that, all your data is going to go away and you're going to get real frustrated and have to come back and do it again. So make sure you click Save every time you complete a tab. So you'll start with AF&R, then you're going to move on to enrollment. With your enrollment tab, this data can be pulled from your FFA roster. So if you click on this Reload Roster Data, any students that are currently on your FFA roster will automatically populate in. So if you're an affiliated chapter, if you have 100% membership, when you click this Reload Roster Data, it's automatically going to populate this enrollment for you. If you don't have 100% FFA membership, you're going to have to go through each of these grade level by grade level and by race and ethnicity and fill it in. So for example, if you're a middle school program, you teach 7th graders, you need to find all of your 7th grade students and identify them by race and ethnicity and by gender and put the total number per grade level, per gender, per race and ethnicity. You're going to include that here. You'll manually type them in. As you add those students, every time you click a different tab, make sure you hit Save. As you do that, the number in this gray box will start to increase and populate. You'll have to go through each grade level, adding those students onto your roster, hit Save. Go to the next grade level, add students, click Save. Go to the next grade level, add students, hit Save. You'll see, like in this case, some of these students are already here. This is being pulled from the FFA roster. So if you already have numbers there, make sure you don't double count them again. It's students who are already on your roster. So you're going to include all of these students, click Save, then you'll be finished with the enrollment tab. Then you'll move on to leadership. We have a couple of events here that I want to make you aware of. I've asked National FFA to change this wording before, and because of their computer system, they cannot do it. This leadership training, this is state FFA convention. So for this first one, you're not going to have anything here. You're going to put your number that attended state convention last year. A lot of you didn't go to state convention last year because it was so restricted. That's okay. But I want you to put the number of students who went to state convention in this line that says leadership training on the state level. This is our area leadership camp. So for this one, you're going to put students here in the area district line. Again, this is for camp last summer. It was restricted. I'm not expecting huge numbers, but again, if you did bring students to camp last summer, put that number in this box. Click save. Then we move on to career development events. For here, this one, you're going to put the number of students that participated in each CDE throughout the school year. This can be at any level. So if you participated in if you participated in an invitational event, you can include that in the district or local column. It doesn't matter, either one. Area events, state events. Put your total number of students that competed in each of these events throughout the year. When you're done, click save. Move on to LDEs and do the same thing. If you did invitationals, you can include them here. Area and state, put in your numbers, click save. This is for this current school year for both of these. Click save. Then we move on to proficiency awards. You're going to enter the number of students who participated in proficiency areas for this school year. Obviously, we don't have area, district, local competition, so all of these will be on the state level. This is the total number of student award applications that you submitted to state this school year per award category. So you'll type those in, click save. Next, we move to Ag Science Fair. This one will be for students who will be participating in Agri-Science Fair this year. So anyone who's going to be submitting a project to state convention this year, you're going to include them. Obviously, we only have state, so just make sure you separate them by category and division and put the number in the column. Again, this is for students who will be participating in Agri-Science Fair this year. Click save. Finally, once you're done with all that, when you go to reports, if you want to generate a report from a previous year, you'll be able to pull it. But at this point, all of your tabs should be filled in. I would go back and check it one more time, make sure it looks right. Once you're done, you can click on any tab and hit submit. Once you hit submit, the report is done. You can no longer add anything to it. Let me show you one other item before we finish up here. On the enrollment tab, this gray box is going to populate as you put students into these columns. Before you're done, you manually have to enter in the white column whatever number ends up in this gray box. So when you're completely done with all of your grades, with all of your input of students, this number will be whatever it is that you teach. You need to manually enter the same number to match this gray box. National FFA does that just as a check to make sure that your unduplicated roster is correct. So whatever this final number is, you have to manually enter it in the white box and then hit save. Once that's all done, you can submit the report and it'll come to us here at the state level. Again, these reports will be due on May 31st. This is a requirement by Bulletin 741. The data that we collect from these reports is extremely valuable when we advocate with the legislature, with Department of Education, with our foundation. People want to know what's the makeup of ag education and FFA in the state. This is the only way that we can grab that data. So it's very critical that you do it in a timely manner. If you want your chapter to be considered for the executive secretary sweepstakes, this must be completed by May 31st. We only pull schools for that award who have completed this report on time. So good luck as you work through your annual reports this year. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to us here in the state office. We'd be happy to help you out in any way that we can.